Hello and welcome back to the Simply Greg Show. Thank you for everyone who's listening and locked in with us. As you already know, the Simply Greg Show is all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting hidden gems in the community. And that's basically ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And one of them today, the amazing guest I've got next to me is Gavin Cameron, who's been talking to us about how to go about getting the right kind of car finance deal for yourself as well, and just a lot of the things that you need to be aware of, especially when it comes to the jargon, PCP, APR, and all of that. So if you haven't obviously checked out the first half, make sure you go back and check it out. But nonetheless, Gavin's been obviously sharing so much, and he's just about to share with us some of the practicalities of how to go about getting the right finance deal for yourself. How you doing, Gavin? UK?
Good, you know. Good.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's
again
it.
for
That's
having
it.
me, man.
That's a pleasure, man. Your beard is shining. I'm seeing it under.
I'll try it.
Yeah, he greased it up well before he came in. Yeah,
I'm not telling you the secret.
he's keeping the sauce to himself. You know the man there in it. They tell you already. Like, I'm not telling you
Do you know
already
what?
before you've even asked.
Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah.
Back when I started college,
Yeah.
when was that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first day of college, I remember S-Codes.
Yeah.
I was one of the only guys.
Yeah, with the S
And
card.
then that era, my sister hooked me up. She was a Jodeci fan, innit?
Yeah.
So Devontae was she loved off
Big,
Devontae.
yeah.
So she knew how to do the S-Code thing.
Yeah.
So I went to college with S-Codes now.
Yeah.
And then the guy one of my guys, Mark,
Yeah.
must have walked into the toilet and said to me, "How'd you get your hair like that?"
Yeah.
So I told him, because I'm just being me, nice guy. Everybody in college had S-Codes after that. I'm like, nah, never again. I'm keeping my little trade secrets. Especially now you can get paid from them sort of things.
Man's joking up. Just like literally the next day, everyone's got their hair.
Everyone's growing out their hair and everyone had curls. I wanted to be individual.
Yeah.
You become S-Code college, that's what it was.
That's it. But obviously today we will be sharing some information just out of his own courtesy to kind of, get you on the right finance deal for yourself. Obviously, we are talking about how to get the right finance deal. Now, earlier on we talked about obviously bad credit for those people who have bad credit but still want to get in. And then we also talked about having the right kind of mentality, when you're taking that approach.
100%.
Because that's really important. That's what's guiding obviously your decisions and so forth. And you don't want to be in a position where you actually hang a noose over your head, your neck, over something of which really should be something that you enjoy. It shouldn't be a burden towards you, like seriously, like of all the other things. I'm sure you've got enough things to worry about in life than, obviously, than car payment. So what are some of the advices that you would give to people about how they go about the process of, getting the right kind of financing deal, and, whether it's research or what's the best kind of advice that you say about the approach?
There's loads. I could just plug the business, go to carbuyingguru.co.
Yeah, plugging it in again. He already did.
But
I should charge him for plugging. Like, there's no plugs.
But just basically, you need to just be calm.
Yeah.
And be sensible. There's two things you can't panic, and you can't get too excited. They're the main two things. And then as far as research goes, we live in this era of information where you can go on the internet and Google how to get a good PCP deal. And it will tell you a few steps on how to get a good PCP deal, what PCP is, and who it benefits or how it can benefit you. So that's the main point. Just do a bit of research, like on the different bits of jargon. Because what's going to happen is if you go into a dealership and you just ask them for a car, they're not going to explain to you what things are. They're going to hide certain things away from you. They're not going to give you all the information necessarily. So you have to be walking into the dealership with a level of knowledge. Now there are a lot of shrewd people out there, don't get me wrong, and they say that people do up to 1,000 searches before they make a purchase. Some people just search cars and what they look like. I want this car in that colour and rare. They don't actually know what they're buying. And I see that a lot with my day to day, because you'll get people coming and asking for certain brands, and it's because I think we had a conversation. I compared it to like buying a house in Chelsea. A house in Chelsea is expensive because it's Chelsea. You don't drive to Chelsea and look at houses and think, I want that house. It just doesn't happen. You don't even like, if you're from a certain community, you don't even bother going up there. Because you feel like you don't belong. But the problem is with big cars, You'll see
So
them in a car
accessible.
park.
Yeah.
I might go Tesco's after here and see a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
There's a Tesla garage at the top of this road.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So they're very accessible. You can just walk in and touch and feel and have that experience. So they don't really explain to you the cost of it and the cost of maintaining the vehicle. So again, just doing a bit of research on what it's going to actually cost you before you start going for the car. Because the reason I say that is because, okay, you could just say, all right, I can't afford that anymore. But the reality is, if you got your heart set on a certain vehicle and you go into a dealership with your heart set on a certain vehicle, when I say afford, it doesn't mean that you're going to have that amount of money in your bank at the end of the month, because you could still get accepted for it.
Yeah.
You know your lifestyle, you know how much your children cost if you got them, you know how much your household costs, etc. All the credit check's going to say really and truly, if you've got good enough credit, is we like you, we think you'll pay it back, so we accept you can have the car. Your heart's going to be saying, I can have this car now, but your mind might be saying, but it's 150, 200 pound more than what I expected, and the salesman's going to be saying, sign here. So it's now a battle between your head and your heart. And I'll tell you a trick what they used to do in the dealership where I worked. They like your part exchange, which I'll come on to how you can get a best price for your part exchange after. But after they've looked at your part exchange, they'll then go on a test drive. The reason they'll do that is because they'll value the car whilst you're away, so you can't get upset with the valuation prior to driving the car. They'll take you on the drive of the car, so you've come in your little 05 plate banger, parked up in the car park. You're now driving this car that's like 10, 15 years younger than your car, and it's a different experience. The leather feels amazing, the aircon's on, you got DAB radio, do you know what I mean? That you drive it around around the area for 5-10 minutes. Then when you pull back in, what do? They make you park next to your old banger. And you step out and you're looking at both cars. Your old car and the new one. You don't want to go back home in your old car because you've driven a new thing now, right? And then they come and they tell you can afford it, or they test you like, this is how much it's going to be per month. Your car that you thought was worth £5 is actually only worth £500. But you can have this car, like, they've got the keys on the desk, this is your car. Greg, you can have this car if you sign here and sign here. What you saying?
You're going to start looking on the
you're
other
gonna
side.
start, You're going to start thinking like, I want that car. Because you don't know any better. Whereas our approach is a bit different. Firstly, we don't take you on test drives. You tell us what car you want, and we might even recommend. You tell us what budget you're on, and we will recommend something for your budget. And people get a bit funny when we ask how much you want to spend. But the truth is, I could sell you a Range Rover Sport, and I can sell you a Fiat 500, and I'll make the same money on both. So it's not it doesn't make me any more money selling you a big whip. So I can be honest with you and say
you can afford to do that.
Exactly. My overheads are lower than these dealerships as well. They're paying big money for rent.
And do you know what I mean? It's a lot harder for you to get an honest opinion from these dealers. And again, a lot of them, they don't care. Like, there's a revolving door on dealerships. So a lot of these salesmen, they're in and they're out. They make their money and they're gone. They'll say, come back to me in 2 or 3 years, and they'll leave again. So just be equipped with some form of knowledge. It will take me too long to go through every little thing. But there are websites out there. You can find out how much your part exchange is. I recommend a lot of people go to jamjar.com, and you can see how much you can sell your car for to them. They'll come to your house, they'll buy the car, and they'll take it away, versus a part exchange. Because they would want to lower the value for that because
with a part exchange, they're going to see what they can get away with. Not every deal. I don't want to try and paint everyone with the same brush. But there are still a lot of rogue dealers out there. And the other thing is, a lot of people, they bring it on themselves. I'll tell you, like, there was a woman. It was disgusting. She had an old Fiesta, and she brought it when I was in the dealership. I'm there in my suit, and I'm going to value her part exchange, and she had, I'm not lying, in a footwell of the passenger seat, she had, like, you know when you go chip shop, you get a bag of chips in the plate. She had that in a footwell. But the chips were turning green. They'd been there for time. She was driving around with these chips molding in her car.
And you're about to get this value.
And she wants me to give her the best price for it. And she was embarrassed. Like, she obviously didn't think about it.
But
you got to think like this. When you're going to a dealership, you're going to buy a car. So if I worked in a dealership and I brought you a car and it's dirty and it's got scratches all over it, and do you know what I mean? The interior's dirty and your kids' stains are on the seat. You're not gonna buy that car off me. You're gonna be insulted that I even brought it out. Like, I've had that.
It's true.
This is dirty. Why? Do you know what I mean? And I've had to explain, look, don't worry, we'll valet it and all the rest of it. But why would you then bring your part exchange in the same condition.
Dealership and that, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they're buying the car to sell it on. So
Mm.
I always say to people, make sure it's clean, make sure you got all your paperwork, so your V5, your service book, make sure you've got the keys, if you've got spare keys for it, because that'll up the value. And yeah, any light scratches or scrapes, if they don't cost mad money to fix, get them done.
Mm.
Cut them out or whatever, because that will all give you more money for your part exchange as well.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think of.
And that's really good. And also, what's the difference with, because I remember I had one as well where there's from a Mercedes garage, but then obviously the bigger kind of balloon payment at the end. But then I've also had a deal where outright by the time I finish paying it, I just own the car as well.
It's hire purchase.
So okay, cool. Yeah.
So like I was saying, hire purchase is great. I always say to people, if you want to keep the car for more than 5 years, then hire purchase works out beautifully.
Yeah.
If you want to drive it into the ground, or it's a workhorse, like people buy work vans off me from time to time, hire purchase works. If you know within 3 years you're going to be bored of that car, don't touch hire purchase. The monthly payments are going to be higher than a PCP. You're going to have it longer than the agreement, longer than a PCP, and by the time you actually own the car, you're not going to want the car anymore.
Yeah.
So like
So
I
it
said,
depends the person that you are.
yeah, exactly. Like I said, when it was coming up, especially in our community, if you didn't own it, like you was laughed at. Do you know what I mean? But now
It's actually turned around now. Actually,
people are getting smarter.
Yeah.
There are still a few people out there that think if you don't own, like, what, you rent your car, you lease your car. Yeah, I do, and I invest my money. Do you know what I mean? Because I say to people, for example, if you're smart enough to raise, say, 40 grand to buy yourself, I keep using them, so you get some sponsorship from Land Rover. But if you
yes, hey,
you.
Land Rover.
But if you get yourself, if you save up 40k to buy yourself,
My team's gonna call them soon, actually. So.
Make sure you do that. But yeah, if you save yourself up 40 grand to buy yourself a range cash because you want to own it, why not be even smarter and take that 40k and invest it? Because you can go and get, like I said,
and make sure the returns brings a profit that is what you're having to pay every month for that.
So you can take that 40k, you can buy one, or if you go up north, you can buy a couple properties with that. HMO them, and you'll make enough money to pay for a Range Rover, newer than what you'll get buying one for 40k. By the time you're bored of it, guess what? You can hand it back, and your properties have gone up in value.
Exactly.
And you can then do it again.
Yeah.
And again and again and again. So you see these rich guys like Alan Sugar ain't going putting his debit card and buying no Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
There's no. I would be very surprised if there's no V5 with Alan Sugar's name on it. They're all owned by the leasing company, and he's just paying them each month.
Yeah.
So if the richest man, or one of the richest men in the UK, is doing that, what makes you so nice to say that you have to own your vehicle?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
And that was a whole game changer for me when I started realizing what a lot of other people do in that kind of way. Like you mentioned, Alan Sugar and whatnot, it wears their name on anything. I was like, these guys are it's very savvy, knowing how to operate, your overhead to make sure that you're also getting a return on your investments that pays for that, because you're gonna obviously change things later on.
It's crazy, and you just see people. I've seen people buy cars and then they come and change it. I remember one guy. There was a few. It must have been about 2015. We had really bad flooding, and he brought a Mondeo. He bought it cash. I believe it's an older guy, and then he was driving down one road with the flooding. He must have been too stubborn to monitor the sign that said "Don't drive down this road." Drove down the road, engine got flooded, the car's written off. Wow. He lost every penny.
Wow.
Just like that.
You bought that outright, yeah?
He bought it outright.
Okay.
And I had to be the one to deliver the news to him over the phone. And that's how it goes. Or you get people that buy the car and then they'll be upset because it's lost 10 grand in a year. It's like, it's a car.
Yeah.
Every day they're churning them out on the fact that it's not a rare AP. It's not a house where the land is worth a certain amount and it's going to go up in value. As soon as you turn the key in your brand new car, the value is dropping. Yeah. And it drops more than ever in the first 3 years.
Yeah.
You lose the most value in the first 3 years of a vehicle than any other time of its existence. So it doesn't make sense.
And in terms of being savvy about the process of how you go about it, what would you say is the best approach for, let me say, an 18-year-old first starting up, in this process? Because even with me at first, I've had to go back and forth a few times because I didn't do it right the first time round.
Yeah.
But I understand, what's necessary in terms of the development towards that growth as well, and that journey of one car to the next, and then The next.
Yeah, like my godson, he turned 16 in March, and just before his birthday, like just before his 15th birthday, he was driving. He said he pointed at A class. He said that's what I want for my first car. I said you're not having that for your first car. Because my thing, I speak to young people. It's like, all right, so you want a Merc for your first car, yeah? I'm 38. When you get to my age, what are you going to be driving? You're gonna have to have a helicopter. Because you're starting off with a Merc. Where are you going after that? Like, you're gonna, by the time you get onto your 4th, 5th, 6th, your 10th car,
private plane.
You're gonna have to have a spaceship. Do you know
But they don't care though. When you say that to them, like, fam, I'll have that though. Spaceship in my back garden. So
Bezos has got
nothing.
Why can't
why can't I?
Yeah, fair enough. To get there, you might not want to get the work straight away.
Yeah.
You might want to invest that money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say to young people, it come down to what we were speaking about earlier. It's about the pressures and peer pressure. Just be sensible. And I'm not even gonna try and sit here like I was one of them guys that was under peer. I think we spoke again over the phone. Like, I grew up being a fan of Ashley Thomas, and he had a Renault Megane, which is such a dead car when you think about it going back. But I wanted one. I wanted one. And I killed myself to get a Renault Clio because I couldn't afford the Megane. And I couldn't really afford the Clio, if I'm being totally honest. But I had to have something that was a bit seen as a bit more better than the Renault, the Fiat Uno that I started off with. Do you know what I mean? And it was a wrong, it was a wrong decision.
Back in the days. Cinquento. Some box.
They were such dead cars. I thought I was upgrading from the Uno to the Punto. When I got my Punto, I thought I was the guy. But again, it was just silly. The gearbox went the second day I had it, and it just cost me more and more. It cost me a month's wages to fix it. So yeah. You just need to start off as low as possible with the brand. You can get nice cars that aren't necessarily the same as what the rappers are driving. But a lot of these rappers are lying to you. They're not making that type of money. And you just need to just kind of seek advice from the right people. Listen to your parents, because their parents are gonna sound like they're getting on to you, and they don't really have the right. But they're probably like, my son's not gonna like it. If he's into cars like that, he's not gonna like my advice. Because it's gonna be the same sort of conversation. Like, I started off in a Uno. You ain't getting no Merc. It doesn't make sense. But people are speaking from life experiences, and you will be able to, if you do it smart, by the time you hit my age, you'll be able to be flexing like differently. You might actually,
so you
have
build
that
a
space.
foundation properly
and invest your money, and just invest in your craft. If you've got a talent, put your money in that. Spend that £300 a month on something that will return you in the future. Because, like I said, I wanted a Megane. The Megane would have cost a lot of money, or what was a lot of money to me back when I was 18, 19. And by the time I was in my late 20s, I was buying Meganes for my dealership part exchange for like £300. They were worth nothing. They were scrap. Do you see what I'm saying? And I would have given my left arm to have one at that point. And looking back now, they're just dead cars. They're not really great.
So build yourself up properly. Take your time. Be patient in the process. And just look at the long run. Of kind of like calculate the long run. What you're trying to do.
We live in the Instagram world. Everyone wants it now. Like, even with just building the business, I've had to make a lot of sacrifice. I had to learn the hard way. But like, one thing I can pass down to like my kids is the benefits of sacrifice. I wouldn't be sat here with you if I stayed in that mentality that I wanted it now. Do you see what I'm saying? I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, and even now I'm still making sacrifices. But as these young people, they're not really understanding that. They want to be the guy right now, but being the guy right now is not going to last long. You're not going to be the guy forever. Like, and you can still wait. I don't know about you, but I don't feel like I'm the age I'm at compared to what I thought men my age would be when I was younger. You tell me you're 38, you're old, you're done out here, but you're still young. But when you're in your 20s and in your teens, they make you. This world makes you feel like you have to have that whip now,
because
or life's gonna be over.
Because it's just at that time. Obviously, it's kind of like you're just focused on life within that period of time. Within that
block.
Yeah, it's true.
Within that postcode, because you ain't really travelled and seen the world and seen the possibilities at that point.
It's true.
Do you see what I'm saying? All you've seen is that my man down the road got a Merc. You don't know how he got his Merc. His dad could have bought that for him, really and truly. But now you got to have one. Because you got to keep up. And you was a guy in school because you had the latest trainers, but now it's cars. And it's a whole different bracket. And you've got to stay on top, and you've got to be in with the in crowd, and it doesn't last forever. Like, I used to see enough of the men, like, they used to be the guy and not the guy.
It's true. And thank you so much, and I'm sure obviously people have been able to take a lot from that. which has been not just wise words of wisdom and encouragement, but just very frugal and savvy kind of steps and strategic kind of things that they can do towards getting the right kind of car financing deal as well. Now, obviously, your business has been running the last 4 years, 5 years now.
Yeah, 2017 we started.
2017, amazing. You've done, obviously great so far, and obviously
Appreciate
served
it.
quite a lot of customers who are returning to you as well right now, as it is.
That's the crazy thing when people start coming back and speaking about you highly for the second time around. Like it's a beautiful.
It's
thing.
a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, massive.
Yeah. So obviously you're also providing free consultation for those who come to you. You let them
100%.
know over the phone how to go about the process. So how can people also catch you? Where can they find you? How can they connect with you?
You can go on our website, carbuyingguru.co.uk. There's a banner. You just click book consultation. Fill in the short form, and one of my guys will get in touch with you.
Yeah.
You can catch us on Instagram,
That's
Car
it.
Buying Guru UK. Check our story, check our posts on there. There's always information on there.
Yeah.
Or contact me directly, Mr. Gavin Cameron on
Yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah.
and drop me a DM. And I'm
Go
more than
from
happy to
there.
help, man.
I love that. And that's what I always love. I love people who go the extra mile to provide that service, because nowadays it's kind of like, for those who are just interested in themselves and their own buck, they don't really care about putting that extra detail, for the sake of the customer's journey. Like,
It's crazy to me. It doesn't make business sense to me. How long are you gonna last like that? Like I said, some people are just here for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
They're not really looking at the long haul.
yeah,
And if people, I don't like upsetting my clients. Like, it ruins my day if I've got an upset client,
yeah,
because I just feel like that's just going to ruin the business.
Yeah,
Which in
definitely.
reality is not really. Like, one upset client doesn't.
yeah.
But I try my best to go
For the
out my
standards
way.
and
Yeah,
reputation that you want to uphold and so forth as well.
Exactly, it's a reputation. So yeah, it's
I think
important.
I think for me, what a lot of people meet, even my team and people who may not understand why I'm so detailed, is because one of the things that came to me in terms of, during my transformation, is understanding the value of your name,
Yeah.
right? I remember doing some calculations and identifying it, even though this might be, separate as well. I remember doing some calculation and identifying where I should put the investments of my time and energy and money. And I remember looking at things and identifying whether it's this side of life or that side of life, and before going through my transformation, and I came to identify that there's no glass ceiling when you invest yourself in your name, your character, and who you are. Right? Because when you invest in your name, you may not have a dime to your name, but you can bring your name to the bank.
I hear you.
Period.
100%.
You understand? Because you're a reputable individual, that people's dealt with you before, because business goes up and business goes down. But when they know that name, they're like, all right, cool. Yeah,
So
we can
mad
lease
you
you $1
say
million, or yeah, sure, you can always bounce back again, because business goes up and down. But then when you bring that name to the bank, they're like, yeah, cool, $1 million transfer straight away.
It's crazy. People
You go and do your thing.
People just start to look at you differently. It's something I've had to get comfortable with.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it, but people will stop me. I remember I was in the supermarket, and this guy stopped me and said he bought a car off me.
Yeah.
And speakers, I did not recognise him.
Yeah.
Until he told me, I think he told me what car it was.
Yeah.
I remember the car, but I didn't remember him or his name, which was a bit mad. But yeah, and he just spoke so highly of me, wanted to come see me, book an appointment, got me to try and help his uncle and his auntie get a car and all the rest of it.
And that's free promotion in itself. When people
crazy.
speak well of your name, like
Exactly.
that's totally different.
But imagine I went on bad with him, or I tried to rip him off.
Yeah.
That could have gone left in Tesco's on my
Yeah,
lunch break.
yeah, it's true.
It's mad.
You're with your kids or
Exactly,
something like
that's
that. It's
what I'm
like,
saying,
yo,
it's dog.
you're that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, you sold me that thing.
I finally caught up.
Yeah, it's true.
People get emotional over their cars, and it's just not. It's not about that. But like you said, you can. I said this to one of my friends who also runs his own business. That I've got a circle of people within business that I know that no matter what happens with me and my business, I'll be good. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I know that.
I love that for.
Do you know what I mean?
I love that. I
'Cause
love that.
I know that I'll be able to bounce back in some way, shape,
I love
or form,
that.
because they've seen what I've been able to do for myself
Yeah.
from the ground up. So sometimes I forget that, but because I'm so passionate about making my thing work.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, my kids will never go hungry because of what the foundation I've already built on,
Yeah.
on my name and what I'm able to achieve.
And a network around you as well. That's
Exactly.
I mean. What else can we expect from you and Car Buying Guru?
The aim is to just be a household name within the motor trade.
Mm.
The app, we're looking to take over with the app, and just have it as a hub to buy and maintain your vehicle. So just watch out for the development of that. We're trying to do stuff in the community.
I love that.
So like I've come across through a colleague of mine, one of the people that work with me, is affected by sickle cell, by a family member, and it just touched my heart when I heard about some of the stuff that she's going through. And I don't know why, but I was looking for something to do within the community, and it's just going to be something that we're going to try and push. We've got some stuff this week, in fact, we're trying to put together, well, I don't know when this is dropping, but we're trying to put together some stuff as far as pushing forward some sickle cell, so we're going to be doing more in the community with that. And in Jamaica as well, we're trying to help some people suffering sickle cell in Jamaica. Just selling more cars, man, and trying to revolutionise the way people buy and maintain their vehicle, like I said.
Yeah, and I love that because, you know, one of the things that I forgot about mentioning that to you, and you reminded me of that as well, because when I came to my previous personal assistant, had sickle cell as well,
right.
Working with me. She was working with me, since I started all of this before, but
Right.
only when I started seeing the crisis that she was going through,
Bro, it's mad.
I never knew about sickle cell until, obviously being so close to someone with that experience. And then different times, like just back and forth, we'll make different plans, and we're like, oh yeah, I've got the show on. Next I'm here and she's in hospital, and I'm like, what happened? She's like, no, just last night, just like, I'm like, raw, like it just had, real quick. Or I'm just making my way to the studio, but this happened. I'm like, whoa. And then they don't know how long they're in the hospital for. They don't know, like,
this is
it's
the
lot.
thing. So like, it's a young boy that I know, and you just look at. When I met him, I didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a clue about what it was or what he
Yeah.
was going through, and then I start to learn more and more, and it's just like, this ain't right.
Yeah.
And it's something that affects our community.
Yeah, big
And
time.
my saying is only we can save us.
I love that.
And that's what I'm just trying to do, like my little bit, and trying to work with people that are really doing great things within the sickle cell fight, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
And sickle cell heroes. I'm just trying to do whatever we can. We built a platform. We've got people following us.
Yeah.
We've got people buying cars from us, and we're trying to make it so every car that we sell helps. at least
I
one person
love
in the
that.
world with
I
that.
love that.
So,
I love that.
I'll keep you
concept.
posted. You can get behind that. And
Yeah,
obviously
definitely.
LPA can benefit from
I was just going to say that as well, and thank you so much for that, man. Definitely,
Yeah.
because at the same time, it's kind of like I saw how difficult it is for them to have a consistent life,
It's
to
mad.
even plan. Like, it's
mad.
weird. Like, her heart just wants to help, wants to work, but it's just like up, down, up, down, up, down, and then, but it's she's been strong for it, and I've always continued to support her.
And they do it
as
in
well.
silence.
Yes.
So one of the guy I told you about, that I said that no matter what, like having people like him in the world, I'll never fall down.
Mm.
I was telling him what I wanted to do,
Mm.
and he said, yeah, I got sickle cell as well.
Wow.
I've known this
And
guy a
so
couple
quiet.
years, and
Yeah.
he says, yeah, I've had it.
Wow.
I was like, nah, this is mad. Like you wouldn't see it, but
Yeah.
you don't know what they're going through. So that's something that's really at the top of my agenda at the moment.
I love that.
I'm trying to do some great things with that.
Amazing. Gavin, thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for obviously sharing
Thank you
all
for
this
having me.
information, and obviously the impact that you're also doing on the ground, and just for going the extra mile within the service that you provide to really give people the information necessary and the quality of information that will help them make the right decision towards obviously purchasing a car, and obviously with a dealer, and thank you for the support that you're also giving on the ground as well towards what you want to do with your program with sickle cell, and obviously the app that's going to come out for your business,
Yeah, man.
and so forth as well, and we'll keep everyone in a loop about that. But as per usual, you can also catch obviously Gavin through the handles that he's provided, and we'll also give a link towards any other project that he's doing. Any final words that you got to say?
Just thank you for having me, man, and providing a platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, traveled a long way, because stuff like this doesn't happen enough.
That's
There's enough
it.
people, and I see you doing it properly.
That's it.
And keep building, man.
Oh, thank you very much for that. So, guys, as you already know, every week we're here. It's all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting the hidden gems in our community, and that's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Today it was Gavin Cameron speaking to us about how to get the right car financing deal for yourself. And next week we've got another amazing guest as well. As you already know, you could connect with us at Simply Greg Show on Facebook, at Simply Greg Show on Instagram, and at Simply Greg Show on Twitter. I normally say life is complicated enough. Why make it more? Simply Greg. See you soon.